Now, I want you all to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Recent news articles continue to share more and more information about the potential railroad union workers' strike as the cooling off period deadline rapidly approaches. Failed negotiations would be devastating to our economy for so many reasons, and we need to talk about that. And I'll explain why I see this as such a big problem for us all. And while both the unions and railroads say they want to avoid a strike, some see a work stoppage as the only way to win better working conditions. And this is possibly the most important sentence or quote that I have read yet. Here, I'll read it again for you in case you missed it. While both unions and railroads say they want to avoid a strike, some see a work stoppage as the only way to win better working conditions. Please, folks, pay attention. These are the warning signs. And experts say that an extended walkout would devastate industries that rely on freight to transport grain, coal, diesel, steel, and motor vehicle parts. Shipping containers would pile up at ports, severely congesting supply chains and sending prices soaring ahead of the holidays. The Association of American Railroads, which estimates that a national rail shutdown would cost the U.S. at least $2 billion a day, said that lawmakers should vote to implement the PEB recommendations in the event of a strike. Now, we're going to get into that more in just a minute. First, I want to talk with you about what's really going on. I want you guys to take a look at this email. And I want to let you guys know that I get a lot of emails all day from so many different people and companies with various information. And I just want to share more of this with you so you can have a better understanding of what is really happening. And also for the folks that email me about joining the channel as a member and gaining access to more information and personalized videos about how to succeed on YouTube, please click the link down below and join us. I'm sharing lots of valuable information that has helped me grow several successful YouTube channels and earn ad revenue and other means of monetization that allow me to live the lifestyle I choose and not be tied to a desk or a company or an employer. Now, take a look at some of the feedback and comments exchanged in the group with the members. We're seeing lots of success so far, and new videos are being published on a regular basis, typically by request, so I can make sure to cover the topics you have the most questions about and get you answers and see your channel start growing. So come on over, check us out. You don't need to have a channel all ready to start, and I can show you how to create one if you need help with that. And if you already have a channel, we can work on optimizing it for greater reach so you can start to grow your subscribers and views. And I wanted to go over some of the comments from the folks in the group because we're seeing a lot of success and folks are actually learning a lot here and they're on their way to improving their YouTube channels, improving optimization, improving their SEO, and ultimately setting themselves up to gain greater reach and greater visibility by YouTube and the algorithm to grow their channels. Trucking Prepper says, "First time I've seen this, thanks," referring to how to optimize your YouTube channels for the algorithm and SEO. Tara says, "Most of this is new to me. Thanks for the excellent info. I'm interested in learning more about how to find keywords, and we'll be touching on that soon in a future video." Karen says, "Gonna start, did not have any info." And this was very common for this particular video and this particular form of optimization that a lot of folks have no clue exists on the YouTube platform. And it is very important and vital to the growth of your channel. All right, now this is honestly the best advice that I can give anybody. I receive a lot of emails with offers for promotions and new and clever ways that companies want to leverage influencers and creators to advertise their new program and crap to help you get anything you want. And I gotta be honest with you guys. I've told you before, you will not see me advertising NFTs, non-fungible tokens on this channel. I feel as though every single offer that I receive for a 30 to 60 second plug on my channel promoting NFTs is a complete scam, and I do not want to subject you to that. My goal is for you all to succeed and avoid the pitfalls and failures. So with that being said, NFTs not going to happen here. Additionally, emails come through with products review requests and product promotion. And honestly, I've pretty much turned down every single one of them. I don't feel as though anyone has stepped up so far to bring anything of value that I feel as though is going to relate to you guys and what matters most in helping you prepare for whatever it is that you're preparing for. And it's not just about the money. It's not just about getting the paid promotion sponsorship. And so far, I haven't found anyone that I align with. I don't really trust in their values, if they have any, their intentions, their goals. And I don't want you guys to fall victim to any of these scams as any result of any of the content that I make. So I'm just going to put that out there. One of the ones that is showing up more and more often is advice. And like I said, I want you guys to have the best help possible to prepare. And so many people are preparing for so many different things, whether it's trying to prepare for a possible food shortage, preparing for a possible EMP strike, preparing for possible hurricane, adverse weather, preparing for a job change, preparing for a job loss, folks are preparing all the time. I even work with a lot of professionals who pay big money for consulting and time and conversation and exchange and analytics and optimization of processes to help them better prepare. And these are folks that are making well into the six figures, but they know that they need help, they need accountability, they need another set of eyes, they need an outside opinion, different perspective, and they're all preparing for something. So whatever it is, I want you guys to know that, to me, the two best things to help prepare is knowledge education, and action. And a lot of folks will say, well, you got lucky. But there is truth in the statement of the harder you work, the luckier you get. So think about that. But the knowledge and education is key, because it's kind of hard to prepare for things that you don't understand, that you don't know anything about. Otherwise, you're just kind of like driving blindfolded. It's not going to end well. Maybe you get lucky, but odds are you're going to crash and burn. So the best way to prepare is to have more knowledge and more education. And that's what I try to provide to you guys. Now, I think folks are out there trying to find the knowledge. I think they're trying to find the education. They're trying to get this advice. And I actually had the strangest offer come through of a company requesting that I do a promotion for them on the channel for dating advice and relationship advice. And I got to say that from what I read, this is the absolute stupidest thing that I've ever come across in quite a while. And the audience, the target audience that they're after, that they're preying on, it's just unbelievable. There's no value here. It's a complete joke. It's a scam. I don't even know what their true intentions are. You know, I would believe that it's primarily driven by profit, but it almost seems, by what I've seen here, that their primary goal is to end all relationships of any sort, and for pretty much men and women to go their own way and stop dating, stop engaging in monogamous relationships and marriage, ultimately marriage for love, and building something great, something powerful, something amazing, and continuing this cycle. And it doesn't seem like they're doing that at all. It almost seems like this dating advice is more of non-dating advice, if that makes any sense. So I'll have to add that to the list of more promotions that I will never, ever promote on this channel. So you guys can stop sending those emails. I would appreciate it. And speaking of scams and mistruths, I want you guys to take a look at this video here, and we're going to pull this apart a little bit. But this touches on one of the things that I was talking to you guys about in one of my previous uploads about Wells Fargo Bank and the banks closing accounts and shutting accounts down. But ultimately in that video, we discussed safety and protection measures that you can take that I do all the time to protect my money, specifically in relation to instances like this, and by having multiple backup plans and diversification just in case something like this were to happen and it doesn't leave you high and dry. Check it out.
Says she was scammed out of hundreds of dollars after using this credit card reader inside a 7-Eleven
in McKinney, Texas. She had a suspicion that something wasn't right, went back to the place of her last purchase, and started rolling. Her video posted to TikTok and Twitter, now going viral. You can see the card skimmer placed right on top of the credit card reader and how easily she was able to pop it off. Rattler told us this all started last Wednesday when she went in to buy a bag of chips.
And I want to talk to you guys about, you may be seeing this here on my screen and wondering to yourself, what is this exactly? And over here is actually a tool that can be used to help you understand the YouTube algorithm, understand rankings better, understand your videos, understand other channels' videos, whether their success or lack thereof, and help you better identify what works for you, for them, to allow your future videos to perform tremendously, ultimately gaining lots of views, lots of subscribers, and going viral. We'll talk about that more in the group.
Your card is declining, basically. And I'm like, what is going on?
A call to her bank, though, showed her account had been drained.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. Her account was drained. Well, you can't drain a credit card. You can max it out, but you can't drain it. And I'm assuming that she's logging in here to her Chase bank account, only to find out that she has lost her money.
About how much money was illegally charged on your card?
$600 in total.
$600?
Yeah.
So she tried to remember the last purchase she made.
So let me ask you guys a question. What would the impact of losing $600 out of your bank account, out of your checking account, what would that do to you? What would that do to you on a Friday? What would that do to you, before payday, and possibly with any overdraft or non-sufficient funds, fees? Comment below and let me know.
At a 7-Eleven, taking matters into her own hands, she went back to the store to inspect their card readers.
The way that you can tell is the machine should be flat on the side. There should be no gaps. So I started comparing the two, and the one to the right, it had a gap.
Smart woman, very smart. Not only was she able to identify the problem and the cause of this, but she also recorded it while she was doing it. And ultimately that video ended up going viral and busting this credit card skimmer scam. Dive a little bit further into this.
Police say they are investigating the incident.
We are going to do a forensic exam of the device.
Also saying since Rattler posted her video, 3 more people have come forward as potential victims from that location.
And this is just further helping more people become more educated about what's going on around them and protecting them from some of these possible pitfalls. Now, granted, the police are going to launch an investigation, but in the meantime, you still don't have your money. You're still out that $600. And this is why I prefer to use an American Express credit card.
But Corporal Taylor says it's still too early in the investigation to know who might be behind this scam.
Right now, I don't know who we're looking at as our suspect.
The store's manager told our NBC-owned station KXAS in Dallas they have no comment on the allegations. The owner did not respond to their request for information or a statement.
Which is a clear red flag that this had something to do with the 7-Eleven. Like, at least to me, it seems that way.
In a statement, 7-Eleven corporate said, 7-Eleven takes allegations involving card skimmers very seriously.
7-Eleven expects gas pumps and card readers regularly and cooperates closely with law enforcement regarding related investigations. Nyjah has since gotten her money back, and she is now on a mission to warn others.
And that's what I want to do with you guys. I want to warn you guys about what's going on, the possible pitfalls. Fortunately, she got her money back. Not sure what the process was or how long it took. But for me, I would rather have $600 of my credit limit tied up than $600 of my cash, if that makes sense.
The biggest positive of it all is that no one else can be scammed. I'm glad I was able to spread the word.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here. We're spreading the word. And I want to spread the word with you guys about other potential scams that could possibly exist that, one, I'm not going to have anything to do with, and two, I want you guys to be aware and pay attention to what's going on out there and possibly understand and realize that there are some folks out there that are more concerned about the money than the message. They're more concerned about the money than the value that they bring. They're more concerned about the money than their own personal brand and reputation. I want to talk to you guys about that. Now, as you can see here, I received an email about the potential railroad workers union strike today. And this was actually earlier this morning. And it looks like I was CC'd with several other channels as well. So you may hear this information elsewhere or perhaps a similar version. It looks like Marfugel was copied. This is all based on email addresses. I don't even know. I'm just reading. Marfugel, Angry Prepper, Texas Prepper 2, Bear Independent. Never heard of that one. Morning Invest, Canadian Prepper, Calvary Chapel, City Prepping, Hope for Our Times. Let's see, Dabu 7, never heard of that one. Financial Fitness 318, Full Spectrum Survival, Generation 2434, Homestead Corner, Ice Age Farmer, Olive Tree Ministries, Liberal Hive Mind YT, YouTube maybe, Monkey Works US, never heard of that one. Nelson Walters 777, Ninja Nation Report, PFS on YT, heard of that one before. Pinball Preparedness, Poplar Preparedness, Prepared Homestead, Robert Breaker, Alaska Prepper, Southern Prepper 1, and This is John Williams. This is John Williams. I like his channel. But as you can see here, I was copied with several others. And I just want to read this. I want to read this because it does tie into what we're talking about with these railroad strikes, okay? And it says here that it starts off with the headline of this email. The subject line reads, U.S. railroads enact contingency plans preparing for labor strike as union talks fail. But the email starts off with, could be just another scare the public tactic, question mark. And this is part of what I was talking about with the emails that I receive and the intentions behind them and informing you guys of what's really going on out there, because not all information is good information. And sometimes misinformation is they're trying to manipulate it and present it in a way that is uncommon so that you share misinformation unknowingly, thinking that they had provided this to you with good intentions. So I want to preface this with, I don't know who this person is. This is just an email I received this morning, and I wanted to share this with you guys so we can have a talking point about what's going on. But it says, could be just another scare the public tactic. Tyler Durden, clever name there. Railroads and labor unions worked through the weekend to make a deal. There were little signs of progress. I guess it's kind of interesting that it's Tyler Durden after I made a video the other day telling you guys you got to treat YouTube like Fight Club. It's kind of odd, but that's just a strange coincidence. There were little signs of progress, and rail companies are now taking steps Monday to secure shipments of hazardous and security-sensitive materials in light of the possibility of a rail labor strike. The Association of American Railroads wrote in a statement. On Sunday, Norfolk Southern released a statement detailing it had begun enacting its contingency plan for a controlled shutdown of our network at basically 12:01 a.m. on Friday, September 16th. The railroad said 2 labor unions are holding out on new contracts, and we still do not have a commitment not to strike and must act accordingly, adding, our goal is to ensure that in the event of a work stoppage, crews, equipment, and freight safely reach their destinations with minimal disruption. Now, why is this important? This is important, assuming that this is accurate information, which I feel as though it is because it somewhat aligns with the video that I put out yesterday about the railroad strike, potential railroad worker strike. And what's important here is that we know that based on the information provided to us, there hasn't been an agreement reached between the unions and the railroad companies. Now, we also know that Norfolk Southern is implementing a plan and process to secure shipments of hazardous and security sensitive materials. And also the date and time is very important, as it says, basically 12:01 a.m. on Friday, the September 16th. Norfolk Southern released a statement detailing it had begun enacting its contingency plan for a controlled shutdown of our network. A controlled shutdown means, they're bracing for impact because ultimately, legally, Friday at midnight, so Saturday morning, would be when the railroad union workers could legally strike. So if Norfolk Southern is putting this statement out and they're saying it, and this is actually true, it makes sense because you would want to control your shutdown before the shutdown. See what I'm saying? You don't want to wait for the strike and then scramble and obviously not have the workforce in place to shut things down. It says they want to control the shutdown of their network. This is kind of bad news for the fact that they are more concerned with controlling the shutdown than reaching an amicable agreement. See what I'm saying? It's a big problem. And I want you guys to take a look at this comment that I received on a video I uploaded last night. And it says, I got a message from my friend who pulled rail containers, and Norfolk Southern NS sent a memo saying their employees is going on strike starting Tuesday at 12 noon. It's a big problem. Now, this one's kind of off because 12 noon on Tuesday just didn't really make sense. So as you can see here, I asked the question, why on Tuesday? And, there's a response a little bit further down, and it says, correction. In the message, it is basically stating they are limiting operations starting Tuesday because of Friday, if I'm reading it correctly. Either way, they know it's coming without resolution. So this aligns with what we were just talking about and the possible validity of the email that was received and them slowly getting into the groove of a shutdown starting on Tuesday. So we got starting on Tuesday with Norfolk Southern talking about mitigating some of this high risk, hazardous, sensitive security freight, as well as this comment here with mentions of a memo sent to Norfolk Southern employees. So it all kind of ties in and relates together. So these are very important signs that we need to be paying attention to. Now, even more important than that is an article, a statement that's actually floating around several different news outlets and articles. And it says that while both unions and railroads say they want to avoid a strike, some see a work stoppage as the only way to win better working conditions. The Association of American Railroads, which estimates that a national rail shutdown would cost the U.S. at least $2 billion a day, said that lawmakers should vote to implement the PEB recommendations in the event of a strike to instantly reward employees and reduce economic uncertainty. Experts say that an extended walkout would devastate industries that rely on freight to transport grain, coal, diesel, steel, and motor vehicle parts. Shipping containers would pile up at ports, severely congesting supply chains and sending prices soaring ahead of the holidays. And there's a quote, and it says that the railroads are actually very critical to the nation's economy and also to security. There's a lot of hazardous stuff that simply can't go by road. And this was according to Nicholas Little, Director of Railway Education at Michigan State University's Center for Railway Research and Education. Now, while Democrats are closely aligned with labor unions, organizers acknowledge that they likely wouldn't allow for an extended strike just before the midterm elections. President Biden, who created the PEB in July to help resolve the contract dispute, is laser focused on unclogging supply chains. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but what we do need to understand and realize here is that what they're saying is that organizers acknowledge that they likely wouldn't allow for an extended strike just before the midterm elections. And It also says that in the event of a strike, lawmakers should vote to implement the PEB recommendations in the event of a strike to instantly reward employees and reduce economic uncertainty. Now, this is very important because they're saying that they don't expect a prolonged strike, which implies they're expecting a strike, and also that they would implement the PEB recommendations to instantly reward employees. Now, why is this important? This is important because if the employees can't get what they want through reasonable negotiations with the railroad companies after several years, they know that they have to force the issue and they really have to go on strike in order to get Congress to step in and execute on instantly rewarding them, if that makes sense. So, with that being said, if and when a strike occurs later this week, we are going to feel pain. We are going to see the effects of the railroads being shut down. Maybe not that day, maybe not the next, but shortly thereafter, more than likely, we're going to see the negative response, the negative reaction to this strike, while Congress then tries to step in to form a resolution. But what this is going to mean is that the strike is the first domino that's going to be pushed over. And as the dominoes behind that first domino continue to fall, depending on which domino you are, is when you're going to feel the pain. So if the railroads shut down and transportation stops and is reduced and hindered, your job may feel an impact negatively as a result of that, because the goods you need to perform your job to earn your money to get your paycheck can't reach you. Therefore, shortages, therefore, back orders, therefore, out of stock. With that driving up increased demand through scarcity, fear, uncertainty, panic buying, hoarding, stockpiling, it's going to compound the negative to a degree that we haven't seen yet before, while still trying to struggle to get out of this post-pandemic supply chain economic nightmare. Still battling rapid inflation and the Fed and Jerome Powell planning on increasing interest rates. Like, this has bad news written all over it for everybody. But unfortunately, I feel as though that these railroad unions, these workers, kind of have to do this in order to get what they feel as though they deserve. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But I wanted to share this information with you guys so that you were aware and you had the knowledge and you were able to make these decisions and prepare and plan and prep wisely, knowledgeably. If you're planning on getting anything, ordering anything, you need something. All I can say is whatever it is, whatever physical, tangible good or item it is, whatever commodity it is, go get it now before it's too late. Because once this plan is set into motion, we're going to start seeing more supply chain issues. We're going to start seeing more shortages, and we're going to probably revert back to where we were a few months ago, where you're pretty much guaranteed that everything everywhere is out of stock. Just a heads up. Don't rush out and like panic buy or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if you got anything important that you think you need, you might want to go ahead and prioritize that on your list to get it probably before Friday. As always, I hope you guys appreciate this information. Looking forward to engaging with you in the comments. Shoot me an email, join me in the group, and I'll bring you guys another update as soon as possible. You guys take care. Be safe.